All right, I am going to go ahead and enter full screen here. And what I'm going to do is just go through the Fat Loss Accelerator workbook, which you can find in the files within the Facebook group. And I'm just going to go through the workbook, and I have jotted down a few questions that you guys asked either through your client intake form or asked me personally through Facebook Messenger. I do think, let's see, I think I might have all of your intake forms by now. But if I don't have your intake form, if you know that you have not yet filled out the client intake form, please go ahead and do that. So I'd like to officially welcome all of you to the Fat Loss Accelerator. This is the third group that I am running, and I'm super excited to be running Fat Loss Accelerator groups continuously throughout 2017. We will be using the hashtag Fat Loss with Jenna across social media accounts in order to support and help hold each other accountable as we go. You are welcome to join further and future Fat Loss Accelerator groups at 50% off, half price, or you can join a membership community with all past Fat Loss Accelerator participants, but you can reach out to me. I'm just going to get all comfy cozy here. So I have my screen shared, and if you want to follow along, you can pull up your Fat Loss Accelerator workbook. If not, you can just go ahead and look at mine on the screen as we go here. So first in the workbook, and all of you should have already reviewed this and also downloaded the MyFitnessPal app and familiarized yourself with the app and how it works. If you haven't, please, please, please go ahead and do so before we get started on Sunday. Today is Thursday, so you have 3 days before we officially kick off our 4-week group. But I am definitely thrilled to have you guys here. I am blessed. I feel blessed to be able to teach you guys a balanced approach to nutrition and lifestyle rather than feeling like we're restricting ourselves constantly from foods that we love each and every day. My mission in life is to teach you this lifestyle balance that allows you to be in control of your body forever and not just yo-yo dieting up and down, you know, winter months to summer months. Whenever you need to fit into a bikini or whenever you have an event that you need to go to, you starve yourself in order to lose weight and then fall right back into old habits after the fact. This style of eating allows you to be in control of your body 24/7 throughout the entire calendar year. So not just some months you're on and some months you're off. So we will be following macronutrient-based nutrition. I will have you guys uploading screenshots of your MyFitnessPal charts at 4 p.m. I will put a thread in the group every single day for you to upload your charts. We are doing a 40% protein, 40% carbs, 20% fat split. But I want you to focus on hitting your grams. So whatever your grams are, your number in grams of proteins, carbohydrates, and fats, that's what I want your focus to be on. So overall, we need to hit our calories, but we will hit our calories if we hit our grams. Hey, Arlene. So if we, hey, how are you?
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm just going through the workbook right now, and I'm trying to see. Okay, so my mission here is going to be to provide you guys with nutrition education so that you can be knowledgeable on this subject and then share what you learn with your family, friends, and your community. So going through the workbook, there is an option here to send me before pictures, but you absolutely don't have to do that. That's just an option. Some people feel like they hold themselves more accountable if they do that. This is a fillable PDF that you have. So you are able to go in here and enter your own measurements. You fill them out on the client intake form as well. But for your own purposes, you might want to take your measurements again after the 4 weeks are complete. So if you do go in and save this PDF document with your measurements, you'll have them saved for you at the end of the program that you can revisit when you take them again. We will be doing carb cycling, a form of carb cycling on this program. And we will be practicing carb cycling on Mondays and Tuesdays. And the way we're going to go about our approach to carb cycling is we're going to take carbohydrates and we're going to subtract fiber to get a net count of carbohydrates. And your net goal on Mondays and Tuesdays will be somewhere between 50 to 60 grams. So you can allow yourself 60 grams of net carbs on Mondays and Tuesdays. That's the goal we're going to be shooting for. Some people who have different lifestyles, if you're a little bit more active, or if you have any kind of reservation or concerns surrounding carb cycling, please reach out to me personally, because I will want to talk to you. I want to talk to everybody on a personal level anyway. One of the things that we will be doing within the group is sharing our macronutrient breakdowns before we get started so that I can take a look at your breakdown, compare it to your client intake form that you sent to me, and make sure that I feel comfortable with where you're starting. So not only do I want you to feel comfortable, but I want to feel comfortable where you're starting as well. And I want you guys to interact and communicate throughout the entire 4 weeks so that we can make sure you stay on track. If something needs to be tweaked, we will absolutely tweak it. So that's my little spiel on carb cycling. If anybody has questions about that, please let me know. We're going to be carb cycling in order to deplete our glycogen stores and pull more fat out of our body. So that's one of the reasons why we're going to practice carb cycling, because I only have this program scheduled for 4 weeks. We need to do something to kickstart that metabolism, right, and see results faster. You do not need to carb cycle for the rest of your life. In fact, I don't recommend it. This could be something that you can do maybe every other month if you feel like you've hit a plateau in your weight loss or your fat loss efforts. You can throw 1 day or 2 days of carb depletion into your week in order to bust through that plateau. This is another strategy that works if maybe you go away on vacation, you come home from vacation extremely bloated, full of sodium because you've been eating a little bit off track. You can practice carb cycling then during the days, that week that you come back, in order to deplete the glycogen, restore your body. Our body is adaptive. So you did not gain 5-10 pounds while you're on vacation. That water weight will come off and you will feel much better, much less bloated after you come back. So carb cycling will be one thing that we practice. Let me see if I can mute you guys. Okay, and then we will discuss a little bit about gut flora. And guys, if you're live, you can use the chat in the group if you have questions. So we will talk about gut flora. I have some probiotics that I recommend. If you need a brand recommendation, please reach out to me. If you do have your own probiotics that you're taking, I suggest that you just take a look at the bottle and make sure that they're DNA verified. Because a lot of over-the-counter probiotics do not make it past our digestion system. So they'll help with digestion, they might help with bloating, but we need a probiotic that's going to make it through the stomach acid and all the way down into our lower large intestine in order to really really help our good, healthy gut bacteria, okay? So we wanna make sure that we're not just taking a cheap over-the-counter probiotic. And that is just something we'll focus on. This program is not just nutrition, it's not just fitness, but we're going to be learning and educating along the way, because my mission is to teach you the why behind the what so that you have the answers to why we're doing what we're doing. Okay, on to the next 2 pages. We talk a little bit more about gut flora. Fiber is a huge component in this program. So when we break down our nutrients in MyFitnessPal, I want you to track proteins, carbohydrates, fats, and fiber as well. Fiber is very important, especially on a IIFYM, flexible dieting as people call it, program, because you are open to eat any type of food sources. But we still want to make sure that you're getting the nutrients that your body needs on a regular basis, and that those antioxidants and those nutrients come from fruits and vegetables, and fruits and vegetables have fiber. So the foods with fiber in them are the food sources that are going to provide you with the nutrients that you need on a regular basis. If you hit your fiber goal each day, then you have if you have micronutrients or macronutrients left over after hitting your fiber goal, then you can kind of eat whatever you want to fill the rest of the gap, right? So that's when you can start eating those fun foods. But we want to make sure that we're getting at least 25 to 35 grams of fiber in our diet as women. And if you're not there yet, that's okay. Don't bump your fiber up too quickly because that could cause some digestion issues. Also, if you're a little bit on the shorter side, you may not need 25 grams of fiber. You might need more like 15 to 20. So everything's going to be trial and error as well. So definitely reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns regarding fiber. I have a page here for you to write your definition of health. I think that's super important that you know exactly why you are in this program right now for yourself. You don't need to share that with anybody. You absolutely can if you want to, but it's important to understand your why before you get started. Let me just put my shade down a little bit. It's a little bright. So by now you all should have set up your MyFitnessPal account. If you're having trouble at all setting it up, let me know. There is a video in the group. It's not in the files, but you can probably just go into the group, and I'm in it right now. There's a little search engine in the group up on the right-hand side with a little magnifying glass. You can search for MyFitnessPal, and I'm sure the video would pop up. And that video will take you step by step through the instructions on how to set up your account. I do recommend that you set up your MyFitnessPal account using a desktop computer for the very first time. The app on our phones don't necessarily sync perfectly with setup. After your account is set up on MyFitnessPal, then everything will be synced up to your phone, so that'll be fine. And then if you have questions along the way and you want me to take a look at your MyFitnessPal account or your food log or anything, you have questions, maybe your fat's too high and you're looking to eliminate some fat from your food intake, you can ask me to take a look. So just make sure that we're friends. And I can type it in the chat. My username is just my name with no spaces. So Jenna Corelli with no spaces. All right, moving on. Again, MyFitnessPal preferences. For the purposes of our program, we're going to be setting our calories using a multiplier. If you've tracked macros before, and you know what your numbers are, or if you've counted calories before and you know on average how many calories you take in on a daily basis, let me know because I'm going to adjust your numbers. I don't want to start you too much of a deficit or too much of a surplus right off the bat, because then you'll either lose weight too quickly, and while that might seem like a good thing, it's not, or you'll gain weight. And I don't want you guys to do that either. So if you're just starting out with macros and you don't know where your calorie intake is on average, I want you to take your current body weight and multiply that by somewhere between 10 and 12. You can start by taking your current body weight and multiplying it by 10, seeing what that gives you. If you feel comfortable eating that many of calories, then stay there. You can bump yourself up to 10.5, 11, 11.5, whatever that may be. So when you open up your MyFitnessPal account, it'll ask for the number of calories. You'll put the calories in first and then set your carbs, fat, and protein according to this schedule. So carbs at 40%, fat at 20%, and protein at 40%. Now on Mondays and Tuesdays, when we aim for our net carb day of 50 to 60 net carbs, with the free version of MyFitnessPal, those numbers aren't going to change for you. So you're just going to have to keep an eye on your carb intake and your fiber intake and just do your best to have a lower carb intake on Monday and Tuesdays, which some people get happy about this point, which means that you can increase your fat. We still want to hit the same amount of calories each and every day, even on low carb days. Okay, that's the difference, and that's what makes me unique to other carb cycling plans that you might find out there on the market. We're not changing our calories. We're just decreasing carbs, which means we can eat more fat. All right, so on this program for 4 weeks, we have a pretty low fat intake. 20% is pretty low for a lot of us in terms of fat. So use Mondays and Tuesdays to have fun with the fat. Eat all the avocado you want. You can increase fat in order to offset the lower carbs in order to meet your total calorie goal. All right. Now, another thing that's optional, the carb cycling is optional. Intermittent fasting is also optional. Again, if you have participated in an intermittent fasting program before, you understand how your body responds to it. If you've never practiced intermittent fasting, I do suggest that you give it a try. I typically suggest that you work towards an 8-hour feeding window and a 16-hour fast. If you typically eat your last meal at 7 p.m. at night and you don't eat again till 7 a.m., what's that, 10 hours? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 hours, that's already a long fast. So you can push that hour back each and every day in order to work towards a 16-hour fast. Do what works best for you. I will say the first week or so of intermittent fasting will probably suck really bad because your body is adjusting and you're used to eating first thing in the morning. But it gets so much better after that. So if you're going to practice intermittent fasting, if you're going to give this a try, I need you to commit to it for at least 2 weeks before you decide to let it go. Okay. And we can talk about that. But there's just so many positive benefits to fasting. And that's why I wanted on this program, because for those of you who are really gung-ho about seeing results on this program, we're going to get you over that plateau. We're going to boost that metabolism. We're going to do everything that we can to get you to reach your goal in the next 4 weeks, which is a very short amount of time. Okay. So the overview again, Sunday will be a regular calorie day, a regular macro day. Sorry, not regular calorie. We're eating the same calories each and every day, but Sunday we're going to have that 40% carbs, 40% protein, 20% fat breakdown. Mondays and Tuesdays, our goal is to aim for 50 to 60 grams of net carbs. And then Wednesday through Saturday, again, regular macros. There will be workouts uploaded into the group. These are, I want you to think of them as bonus workouts. There will be at-home workout plan and an in-gym workout plan. If you already have your own fitness routine, don't worry about these workouts. Think of them as something like supplemental. So if you're on the East Coast right now and you're home from work and you needed a workout to do at home, you could pull one of these workouts out and do that. I want our focus for the next 4 weeks, though, to be on nutrition. That's what is super important here. So don't worry if you don't get a workout in or don't get your workout in from the files that particular day. The nutrition is what we are focusing on. Next slide here, nutrition education. So throughout this program, we will be learning a lot of nutrition education. We will be learning about macronutrients, which actually that's already been posted in the group. So please watch that video on macronutrients. It helps you to understand what each of them are and how they benefit you and your body. I will be sharing many different PDFs, videos, and PowerPoint presentations as well to help you understand nutrition education. Then in week 3, I will ask for a feedback form from all of you. And then again, after the 4th week, just because I am running these programs over and over and over again throughout the entire year of 2017. And I really want to improve the group program each round and hear you out and make it better as we go. And then as I said in the beginning, you can continue your journey and you can join the next Accelerator group at 50% off. So you're always going to be grandfathered in at that $49.50 price. So I have frequently asked questions here in the workbook that you have in the files. I'm just going to leave that in the files for you to look at yourself. And I'm going to address some questions that I got through the client intake form from you guys. Again, if you have questions, please put them in the chat and I'll answer them. Or you can go ahead and ask them in the group and I'll answer those as well. So the first thing I want to address is sleep. And I'll just go all the way back. I want you guys to try and get at least 6 or 7 hours of sleep every night, or at least track your sleeping patterns for yourself personally to see where your ideal lies, because everybody's different. And I know some of us are a little bit sleep deprived and we know that. So just being mindful of the amount of hours that we're getting each night and trying to work towards increasing that number and just getting a little bit more sleep is going to help. You know, it has tremendous benefits, obviously, on any fitness or nutrition or lifestyle or mindset in general plan. Many of you did mention that you eat cereal for breakfast. Maybe you snack on like a granola bar, and I want to touch on the importance of protein. So when I start working with clients, typically protein is the nutrient that they struggle with the most. So I want you guys to think about eating protein first thing in the morning rather than a carb. So cereal is going to provide, and cereal, especially unless it's whole grain cereal, is going to provide you those simple carbs, which simple carbs break down into sugar. And sugar is just going to, you know, once you start eating sugar for the day, just like a Diet Coke, you're going to be hungry throughout the day. It's just going to trigger that feeding response. So we want to focus on having protein first thing in the morning. If you still want your cereal for breakfast, that's perfectly fine. Have your cereal and add a scoop of whey protein powder to almond milk or whatever milk that you use. Shake that up and add that to your cereal for flavoring. I do it, and I don't know if it's an acquired taste or not, but I love it. So like if you find a protein powder that you like the taste of, then that should work really well for you. Same thing with the granola bar snack. Any snack that you have throughout the day, you should think about protein. So yogurt, like a Chobani yogurt, a Greek yogurt, cottage cheese with some fruit, because that provides protein, or a healthy fat. So like peanut butter with an apple, or, you know, something that provides protein. Cheese, there's protein in cheese, beef jerky, turkey jerky, deli meat, egg, hard-boiled eggs, egg whites. There's even protein like almond milk and coconut milk out there that's like infused with extra protein if you need something. But there are plenty of options. I just want your focus for the next 4 weeks to be on protein, and then carbs, and then fat. Some of you talked about how you're self-conscious about going to the gym. So I do give you the option of an at-home or an in-gym fitness routine. You can absolutely print out the gym routine and take that with you so that you feel more comfortable in the gym. And I provide video exercise demonstrations. I think that might just be for the at-home, but go to YouTube and look up the exercise if you're unfamiliar with it, and just familiarize yourself with it before you go to the gym so that you feel a little bit more comfortable. But guys, none of the workouts that I'm going to put you through are meant to have you running around the gym like a chicken with its head cut off. So hopefully they're simple enough but very effective and quick so that you can feel comfortable in the gym. Okay, some of you have talked about overcoming binge eating habits, and this is a big one that makes me really, really happy because I have a past history with binge eating as well. And this particular lifestyle of dieting is the only thing that has saved me from that. So being able to balance our intake, being able to eat what we want when we want to eat it, just being mindful of what we're eating and fitting it into a plan. That's another tip. If you want to open up your MyFitnessPal account and plan your days ahead of time, that might be very helpful if you're busy and you just need, you don't want to think about what you're eating every day. If you plan that ahead of time, it will help you tremendously. But if you have a snack or a treat that you enjoy, allow yourself to have it on a regular basis. Put that in your meal as a nighttime snack before the day even starts so that you can eat around that entry for the rest of the day, and then you can look forward to having that treat that you love each and every night so you don't feel deprived. We don't want anybody feeling deprived on this program. And then I jot notes down here that just says protein at breakfast. So I do want you guys to think about eating protein at breakfast. And when I say breakfast, if you're practicing intermittent fasting, breakfast can still be in the afternoon. I'm a huge believer in breakfast can be eaten at any meal of the day because I absolutely love breakfast food in general. But I do also practice intermittent fasting. So I typically will eat, probably as early as 11, sometimes 12 or 1 for the first time of my day. So I hope that this was helpful. I will upload the replay within the group as well. And then you guys can post your questions on that thread. And we'll get started on Sunday. And I hope that you have questions because I know there are questions out there. And you guys are just super shy and not asking them. So understand that I'm an open book. You can email me info@jennacrelli.com. You can Facebook message me at any time. There's not a bad question, and I love each and every single one of you, and I want to see you succeed. So I want to make sure that you're all set up correctly before we get going. So have a wonderful day, and thank you for listening in. For those of you who are here, I hope it was helpful. Definitely take a look at the workbook. There are Q&As at the end of this workbook as well that I didn't touch on, but previous Fat Loss Accelerator clients did have those questions, so you might have them as well. All right, I'll chat with you guys later. See ya.